Hello? Sorry, there was a delay. I realized that I had a problem. It's a very minor, very minor problem, but it was going to bother the crap out of me. So I had to get it taken care of. It is a visual thing. It is a very visual thing. Hi, friends. Nervy, thank you for the 10 months. Oh, my goodness. Hi. Oh, hey, how are you? What is up, everybody? How are we doing? Good to see ya. I still have to fix it. Damn it. Damn it. All right. Things might be off. Son of a bitch. It's all right. I'll find a permanent solution later. It's fine. I'll find a permanent solution later. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out later. Things are happening. Knife, thank you for the 12 months. I have figured out some things, though, that might have solved other problems. Okay. Okay. We need to leave this screen. We need to leave this screen. Yay, figuring out things. Hi, Moon Bunny. Hi, Hellfallen. How are you? Oh, my goodness. What's up, Mitch? Blue Hawk, Total. What's up, Will? Janelle, hello. What's up, Cyber? Hi, Mayor. How are you, my friend? The alerts and the music is a bit much. Is a little overpowering. Excited to see you. I appreciate seeing you guys, man. Hi, friends. Happy Monday. Hello. Hi. Okay. Let's see. So I'm messing around with some things. I get into spells. I get into spells where I get tired of things being the same all the time. I get tired of things being the same all the time. So I want to mess with them. It's kind of like when your living room is the same all the time. So I'm like, I want to mess around. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What'd you break? I didn't break anything. So I brought back in my shelves because I saw them in my basement and I was like, I kind of want them back in my room. So I brought them back. I hung on the wall. I didn't break anything. Shut your lips. I hung the Hey Arnold cell on the wall. So that is now back there. The thing that was visually effing me up, my light that is here was it's turned this way. And when it is, that light can be seen on that back there. And it's just pure light on that back there. And I'm like, if I put like, if anybody knows what that means, barn doors, if I put that on there, I could find a way to stop it from hitting that. So I could work on that. Yeah. Fancy. Thank you for the 3 months. Thank you so much. Possum. Thank you for the 6. Hello. Permanent orb. It's just a massive digital panel back there. That's all you see. Will, thank you for the tier 1. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Hello, friends. Yes. So I brought that back. Yes. So I put my consoles. So I put my consoles on there. Yeah. Skibbity indeed. Yeah. So my consoles I put on there. Mel's nuts are here. Mel's nuts are there. Not the salty ones. I got to put the salty ones on there. St. Jude stuff. The Mrs. Carr made me a personal FlashForce logo up there. Yeah. So I moved up some of my Funkos off the bottom shelf. I had to figure out what to put on the bottom shelf now. But yeah. So yeah. And it's a new shirt. And we have new merch. It's live right now. It is live right now. It's live now. You may get these as you speak. Hey, Lynn. Thank you for the 4. Hello, friend. Crow, I appreciate you, friend. Thank you for getting it. There's multiple. There's multiple new. We'll pull them up. We'll pull them up right now. We'll pull them up right now. DJ, thank you for the prime. Is Bruce there? Look, right here. Bruce, he's right there. He's eating a glow stick. He's on it. He's right there. Yes. Inu did such a great job. Did such an amazing job. So, if you look at the site, if you go to the site, you can see it now. It is live. They are there. I have multiple different versions of all of said things. All of said things. So we have a toe shirt. This was like a plushie run. And this isn't over, by the way. There's more. There's still something to be had. There's still something to be had. There's still something to be had. Here's a toe shirt. We'll do this. There's a toe shirt. There's the one that I'm wearing currently right now. And then there is multiple versions of this. So there's not only a hoodie version of this, there's also a zip up hoodie version of this. So I'll show you a close up of that guy, show you a close up of that guy. And then if I go to the hoodies, I'll show you this guy real quick before we get into it. But we're doing the weekly today to start it out. We're starting with the weekly. Oh, yeah, it's all good, Helmel. Yeah, man. We'll try again later. It's all good. Break of daylight. Hello. Hey, Hailed. How are you? What's up, Jess? Yeah, they did such a great job. They did such an amazing job. It's so good. Gamer Wolf. Thank you for the tier 2 for 5. How's Chingus? Dude, Chingus's was so great. It was so amazing getting to see all of the friends IRL. It was amazing. It was so good. Mayor, how was your time getting to see Peeps IRL? My favorite ghost, Mimic. So there's Toe. I have that shirt. It's just upstairs. Yeah. So there's Toe. Yeah. And then just the FF logo on the back in the same color. Lots of hugs from Epic. Did you still win, though? Did you still win? That's the real question. And then here's the one that I'm currently wearing right now. Bruce, Toe, Frank, Perry. Yeah. Me running for my life, of course. But then there's also, the thing I like about this one is how well it goes with different colors. So the black, the asphalt, the lilac, and then the ocean blue. I love that this one can go basically with any of those and it still works extremely well. So I love that. The hoodie version of this decided to do on the back, because I personally, and I'm going to force it this way, make it to where the graphic is large on the back. And then on the front is the little guy. Valix! Which, this was one of the other problems that I solved. Do you remember how Twitch was reading out to me all of the resubs and things like that in a really weird way, where it was saying which number it was incorrectly and correctly, but in reverse order, in the wrong order, right order sometimes? I found out how to finally get Stream Elements Live downloaded, and it's reading everything perfectly fine. I have SE Live now for OBS, so I can see it all perfectly fine now. Yeah. We'll see how long this lasts. But I can also see my fourth wall stuff here, which is ever so lovely. Grizzly! Valix, I hope you enjoy the Plushies Attack shirt. And Grizzly, thank you for getting merch, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy it. I love the fourth wall merch so freaking much, man. Alev! I love it. I love it too. Gamer Wolf, thank you for getting the shirts. Yes, I love them. So look, on this one, you get the nice classy, just name on the front and big on the back is the design. And it's the same. And then it's the same for here for the zip up. So the zip up, you got the name on the front and then you've got the design on the back. This design is amazing. Yeah. Are they soft? The shirts are so soft. Cass, I can't tell you how many fourth wall shirts I own. I would say 80% of the shirts that I wear are fourth wall shirts. I probably. Yeah. Love them. Are the hoodies comfy? 1,000,000%. Yes. Yep. Is it limited stock? No, this isn't going anywhere. No, the ones that are limited are like the 50K. Like the 50K one is going to eventually come down. Like this. This one is eventually going to come down. This isn't going to be up there forever. The ones that are really limited are like the holiday ones. The holiday ones or the celebration ones are the ones that I usually make a limit on. Yeah. So this one might be up for like another month and then it's going to go bye-bye. This has probably been up there long enough. Yeah. What's up, buddy? So yeah, I'm a potato. Thank you for getting a shirt. Potatoes forever, indeed. Sorry, I don't have any potatoes on the shirts. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff there. So yeah. So yeah. So there we are, friends. So there we have it. It is live. It is active. None of those are going anywhere anytime soon. So if you're interested, if you want to hold off, please do. They're there to stay. And like I said, there's another one that is in the works that is not even on the site yet. So you'll be surprised by that. You will get a nice little surprise with that one too. Uptown. Oh, hello, friend. Thank you for the 52 months. Holy shit. Uppy Town. Hello, friend. How are you? Hi. What are you doing, friend? Yeah. Uptown's OG. Uptown has been around for a very long time. Uptown is an absolute homie. Weekly. Tis a weekly time, and I'm going to be joined by Mare, and I'm going to be joined by Phoenix. Let me pull up the weekly so we can see what our info is, and then we'll get into it. Doing the challenge solo. No, this stretch of weeklies, the population. This stretch of weeklies, I have been doing all of them with friends to change up how I've done them because I've done them all solo. All of them. Hellmouth, thank you for... Gamer Wolf, thank you for the subs. The combined chat, that was so throwing me off. Oh shit. Gifts for my birthday tomorrow. Okay, you don't tell us it's your birthday and then you do that. That's not how that is supposed to happen. Gamer Wolf. It's your birthday tomorrow? What are you doing for your birthday? Friend, can we get some early happy birthdays for Gamer Wolf? Because we're not going to be live tomorrow, so we're not going to be able to say hi. Nothing. Well, don't get me wrong. I don't know if you chose to do that. I choose to do nothing on my birthday. That's a choice for me. Yeah, I don't know if you choose to do that. Bomb, thank you so much for getting a shirt, by the way, friend. Ever read The Lord of the Rings? No, I have not. Hobbits give gifts on their birthday. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Takey, thank you for getting a hoodie. You guys are freaking awesome. All right, let's go over and look at the weekly. Oh my god. Hannah, I got it. Still need... it's the closest we can get for now for the plushies. That's right. Well, I hope you have an amazing birthday, friend. Where are we at? I always do this. I literally go to the right when I could just go to the left and hit like twice. Okay. I don't remember if this was easy or hard. I wasn't paying attention yesterday. Usually I have Chinggis up, Chinggis and Tater and them, stuff like that up on my Tuesdays, and I wasn't paying attention. So I don't know how difficult this is going to be. Was it easy, Phoenix? It's an easy one? Okay. All cursed, all tier 3s. Okay. That was you. Oh, hey. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you so much for getting merged. Dude, the chat on my right screen, the font is weird. And I don't know how I feel about it. It almost hurts my feelings. Okay, there we go. It's back to normal. That was weird. You want a Bruce plushie? Well, you can get a Bruce plushie. They're the ones that are from the IKEA things, right? Right? Thank you for the follow. I don't know if they still sell them at IKEA. I think you can find them on like eBay and stuff, right? Right? Hello. Hi, how are you? All right. Let me get this going. Lit, thank you for getting a freaking Plushies Attack shirt. You have a shark plushie that is a heat pad. Hey, that's close enough. They're on Amazon. Oh, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I need to get one too, honestly. Okay, let's go there. Get rid of all those. Get rid of all those. The art on the merchant. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I was they had it mostly made up and I was working with them to get it the way that we wanted it to fit well on a shirt. Yeah. Was super excited. I need the shark toy from Point Hope. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we're basically ready to rock there, friendos. Basically ready. Do you prefer solo with friends? I play a lot of solo just because whenever like we're streaming, it's easier to talk with everybody that's in chat, but I like both. Playing with friends is awesome. Yeah. Hey, Dysol, what's up, Noki? Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Does IKEA still sell it? Really? Interesting. Interesting. All right, let me get moving over there, and then we'll be ready to rock. All right, friendos? Hey, what up, Granty? What's up, Mac? What up, Jester? How are you, homies? Welcome in. We're about to get moving on the weekly, and then we'll probably move on to some Nightmare and some Insanity, maybe some No Evidence runs. Who knows where the wind's going to take us? We will see. We will see. Cat and Icefire, what are you doing, dude? Hi, friend. All right, so we'll go over there. That looks good. How goes it? It goes, man. How are you? Okay. Hey, Jamie Allen, how are you? Hi, Sparkle. All right, I think we're ready to rock, friends. How's the fam and everyone doing? Everyone's doing well, man. Busy, freaking busy, freaking busy. As always. No, Noki, not today, no. Is your seat lower? I don't think so. No, no. Look at my hat to top of frame ratio is pretty good. No, it should be good. Because if I'm like this, then my head's cut off, and you don't want that. We don't want that. That's what you got to go. You got to go from ratio to the top of the screen. That's the way you got to do it. Hold on, wait. I'm very confused. Why didn't that show up over there? See, Bunny, thank you for gifting a sub. Why did that not show up? What? What? Oh, that's why. Oh, the filter was weird. Okay, I fixed it. That should be okay. Respect the respect the ratio. No, it should be okay. All right, we're ready to rock. We should be good to go. I know things have changed because I've added like the things back there and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we should be good to go. All right. This week's challenge is do as I command. You'll have to force this ghost to give you evidence. Luckily, we found you some extra items to help you out. This is at Sunny Meadows to get our 5K. So let's double check and see what our settings are so we can be prepared. Shall we? Shall we? Let's see. We have, if we look, we have 100% player speed, 100% ghost speed, all of the cursed objects. If you're paying attention and you look at all of your symbols, you have all of them. Low interaction rate, low ghost event rate, short hunt duration, 100% sanity drain, and there's all your equipment, which looks to be all tier 3. All tier 3. So, and 3 evidence. I think we might have to do the old special all cursed object thing at least once. At least once. And see how it goes. Yeah? Yeah. Hey, Meggers. Hi, Kelly. Hi, friends. How we doing? What is the middlemost symbol? The middlemost symbol? So you have monkey paw, mirror, music box, summoning circle, Ouija, tarot cards, voodoo. Yeah. Mr. Wahats, good evening. Hi, friendo. I got to meet Mr. Hots, guys. Chalk up a night for all the homies to play together and play something. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. I know, Cap. We need to find something, man. Hey, Soviet, what's up, dude? You have a question about something that's confusing with Faz? Hit me, dog. What's up? What is up? Who's this guy? I don't know. I just work here. Raising the roof. Yeah, Dream, of course, man. All right. Let's rock. We can get rid of those. Sure. Let me get this code over to Phoenix and Demare so that way they can be ready. What up, Flame? Manifesting a Dio? I wouldn't mind. Like, you want a Dio, but at the same time you don't. Because if you get a Dio, it's like too easy. But sometimes you want it to be easy. You know what I mean? You picking up what I'm putting down? You know what I mean? Alyssa, oh, hey, how are you? What's up, Daisy? Thank you, guys. Look at all these nice cards. Allie! The number of inches taller you are than me, as I discovered. 23. Thank you, friend. Let me mute the music so I can hear them. Hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Look at these two all hanging out IRL and stuff.
We're cute like that.
I mean, Phoenix and I are IRL friends now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
wow.
official. We've hung out more than 3 times.
Yeah.
So wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. So 3 times means what exactly?
IRL friends.
IRL friends. Okay. Chinggis, we're failing.
Yeah, get good. Just kidding.
Yeah, you've only met him twice
Yes.
now.
Damn
Gotta
it.
meet him a 3rd time.
All right. I'm on the way, Chinggis. All right, guys. You have to hold on for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Just wait here. I'll be right back. It'll only take a little bit. All right. Sunny Meadows. I can only assume that the special cursed object thing works during this, yeah?
Pretty sure.
Okay. We'll have to do it at least once. That's maybe on the 3rd run, yeah?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's rock. Let's do it. Let's do it. Nathan! Oh, hey, how are you? What's up, Mara? Bye, buddy. Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome in. Gone, Benjo. Benjo, thank you for the prime. We're so awesome that 1 counts as 10. That's fair. Alrighty, Megan Wilson. Whoa, that was weird. All right. Like, I want to go night vision, but at the same time, I don't want to stare at green the whole time, so I'm going to go flashlight. Okie dokie.
That's fair.
Is that okay? I'm going to be pretty useless on this one, all right? But I have a smooge. That's got to count for something. That gets bonus points, right? I've been good, Nathan. How have you been? What do we got?
Food storage.
Ooh, food storage, eh?
Where?
Food storage is over here. It's where the aren't there pumpkins in there?
It's like the tiny hallway.
Yeah, yeah.
But over by the kitchen.
Yes. Nathan, thank you, friend. What does I wish for knowledge with the monkey paw do? It eliminates a piece of evidence, but with each wish with the monkey paw, there's a negative. there's a negative to it. So unfortunately, the negative for that one is you go blind and deaf. So it's one of those like on the way out, last ditch effort things, in my opinion. It's not a very fun thing to do. What do we got?
Nothing yet. Oh, there.
Megan, well said.
EMF 3.
Megan, touch the door. Megan. 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 I'm not going to have my smudge in my hand because I'm going to accidentally freaking click it. Megan. Megan. Senses are for jumps. Wait. What the? What was that? That wasn't this door. What the? Where was that? Why did that sound like that was over there? What? Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, well, now it doesn't matter. No phalanges. Hey, you should write in the book. Thank you, Alyssa. Hello? You bore me. Okay, thought I heard it writing. Hey, Guinea. Mr. Chinggis, how's Russ going? Good class. Gonna pull an all-nighter. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? I bore it. It bores me. I didn't do nothing. For tonight's party. Wait, what?
Orb.
Roger that. Hey, Philip. So Gorb is all we have, right?
Spirit box.
Yeah.
Never
and
mind.
Spirit box.
Okay. Writing freezing dots. Okay. So that, and we got that guy, we got that guy, we got that guy. Sanity's at 78. Probably all right. You know what? I'm going to take one of these just for kicks. Run! Orbicals, run! I am speed. I eat speed for breakfast.
You had your Wheaties. You're very zoomy.
Do people still do that?
So
Nathan!
Olympics are happening, so I'm gonna go with yes.
Dude! Thank you for chasing the dream. Appreciate you, homie. And I was right. Wait, did it just blow that out in the hallway? Here, I brought
It
more.
may
I
have.
brought more geefs. Here, I'll put this
Still
one here.
no freezing.
There you go. It blew the lantern out in the hallway. You are speed.
It did seem like that.
Holy shit.
We have freezing.
Okay, roger that.
Okay.
And confirm no ultraviolet.
I haven't seen any.
All right. I just want to make sure it's not like
on-
mimicking an obake or something.
Yeah, I have salt overrider going.
Out of nowhere, Phoenix was perfectly fine the entire time. Then all of a sudden, right here, it just amplified times 10. That scared the shit out of me. It's like, oh! All right. I think it's safe to say, Hanryo. Oh, hey, how are you? Okay.
I mean, it blew
Okay.
that out again, didn't it?
Yeah, it would have done a hunt by now, probably, yeah.
Okay. That's
Cool.
what I thought.
Yeah. I like it. Good thinking, Abe Lincoln. Who's playing with Mare and Phoenix? Here, it can keep it. That's for you. You can keep it. Per the usual. What's up, Eric? I'm good. How are you? What's up, Maddie? They're both homies. They met IRL today. Oh, hey, how are you? How's it going, Royal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably an Unreal, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
Unless this is the most Obake mimic that ever did exist. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I think Phoenix made a very good point. I'm pretty sure it blew out 3 firelights, so it probably would have hunted by now. Well, wait.
True.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Pause.
Well, it blew out.
Did it blow out
2.
3 firelights? We would have had another lit. It must have canceled it. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Maybe. Well, I
wasn't
had the
holding any
one.
lighters, though.
Yeah, I had one lantern.
I'm
that it
thinking of
blew
this
out
in
the
reverse.
hallway,
I'm like,
and
wait,
then
no,
it
no,
blew
no, no.
out when I relit it and put it on the
Okay.
ground.
We must have
Those
lit
2.
another fire to cancel out the Onryo ability then. That must have been what happened.
Okay.
Shut up, ghost. Okay. That must have been what it was. I'm
buffering
confusing myself. Okay,
Your
we're
brain.
good. Yep. brain, not brainy. I'm like, wait, no, that's the other way around. Reverse it. We're good. The vids made you sweat. You should probably cool off.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
There we go. Okay. We knew what was going. Never mind. Anywho. Just don't listen to the words. Just the actions are fine. Okay. Scratch that. Reverse
What
it.
did that shirt say about not overthinking, Mayor?
Hold on, let me know.
I said good day.
Yeah, I.
Look, it's a whoopsie. It was a verbal whoopsie. It happens. Relax. Relax. You get nothing.
Check the equipment and get set up
Wayne.
for investigating.
All right. Yes.
Do you want to go with the same strategy? Just use the Ouija board?
Yeah. Go for speed. What are you going to grab? I'll grab the other evidences this time. Make it a little faster. I'll go this guy, that guy. I'm going to go salt, UV, and spear box. And this time I'll actually just go night vision. You love overthinking? It's always on your mind? Fair enough. Pull the cards. No. There's no point. If we're trying to get this done quickly, there's really no point. What do we got?
Mail door.
Oh. All the way
Far
down.
away.
Oy, oy. Far, far away from here. Well, it's a good thing we have 3 people we can carry all the evidences.
Right?
You know, bright side.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's good. Sweat, not sweaty. It's the same thing. No, I don't ask if it thinks we're pretty. I ask the Ouija board if it likes chips, if it likes beards. Yeah. There's plenty of good questions you can ask. Okay, see the cold breath. Here, I'll put one of those guys there. Put one there. Put one there. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Oh, I bet you did. Spear box. Writing.
Writing.
Writing?
spirit box.
Walking with no footies. Multi's out of the question. You know what? I'm going to try to get the DO. If it's a possible DO, I'm going to try to get the response. Where are you?
Okay, I'm only getting like 2
Sparkle.
degrees. And
Are you
no
near?
words.
Far from the
Where are you? Are you near? Where are you?
taken away.
Are you near?
In a way.
Where are you? Are you near?
From behind.
Where are you?
From behind.
Are you near? Where are you?
There's Barbie.
Are you near?
There's Barbie.
Where are you?
There's Barbie.
I'm going to try. Hold on. You stop it. Yeah, open. Damn. I don't know if I can do it. Tee hee hee. Tee hee hee. I found the separation. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you?
Just for me.
Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near?
Get away.
Where are you?
Far from
Are you near?
Get away.
Where are you?
I'm far from
Are
there.
you near?
Just for me.
Where are you?
Lift away.
Are you near?
Get close.
Be a Dio, damn it! I don't think it's gonna be a Dio, guys. Think I got spirit box? I don't believe you. Where are you? Are you near? Where'd the Thermonometer go? Thermonometer! What do I do with it? Yep. You're confused? What are you confused about? What are you confused about? Whenever someone says right here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, the Thermonometer. You don't want it to be a Dio? I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be that upset. Spirit mirror.
Dots. It's a D.
What the absolute fuck? Where are you? No, I'm staying. Where are you? Are you near?
Close to us.
Okay, I don't want you to do that in here. Where are you? Are you near?
Down far from
Where are you? Now, we could use the dots as a way of knowing where it is to do the spirit box. Because you need to do the spirit box within a meter of the ghost. Where are you?
He's here.
Are you near?
Just far.
Where are you?
Down far from
Are you
there.
near?
Right here.
No, I'm right here. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Dude, where are you? Are you near?
Right here.
No, where are you? Never mind, I give up.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sitting in there for 5 hours trying to get it. F it, man. I give up. I was trying to get the Dio response, and it's just not doing it. Even though you have to be within a meter of the ghost to get it, it's still a chance. It's still a chance. Is this our second run or third?
Second.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, Graham, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, wait, is this my second or third? Okay, we're good. We're fine. I should check for spirit box. I think you're right. Where the hell am I going? Is it the angry breathing thing? Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, that's right. That's fine. I tried.
Yeah, it's such a large room.
I know.
Just a
But I mean,
stubborn
listen,
child, it's fine.
I watched the dots. I saw where it was. I stood on top of it, and it just wasn't having it. So whatever. That
There
goes
must be
can,
a secret phrase we don't know.
I don't know. Toothface can eat one. So I'm ready.
Gotta ask it if it likes jazz.
You like Yaz?
Yeah, see?
Do you like Yaz?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Did you get spirit box? Oh, I should go check. Damn it. I knew I was forgetting something. Hi, Toasty. Yeah, I don't know what the exact chance is of getting the response, but yeah, there's something.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Da deal. All right, cool. On to round 3. I think this is the round where we do it, okay? This might be... It might go south, but I feel like we have to do it anyway, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. We got to do it. So we have to set up for this. We have to set up for this. Snooze, thank you for the prime. Where are you?
All right, we're here.
All right.
Take
We
a look
have
at
to
the
make
equipment
the
and
most of
prepare
it, though.
accordingly before starting the investigation.
So we could bring
Whoever was
salt,
here must have summoned the
photo
ghost with its
camera.
first object.
Do you know what we're doing? We're all on the same page here.
Careful. We don't know what
No.
it's capable
We're
of.
setting the cross on fire.
That's what I thought.
We have all the cursed possessions. It's the only way to do that. I feel like we have to do it. Well, I mean, it's the only time you're going to be able to do
I
it
mean,
inside of
yeah.
a weekly. So,
Fair.
yeah. I'm sorry, the 2 standing sticks. All right. We have this. We got this. We have salt. We have a photo camera. All right. Just be prepared with this. Have yourself a smooge on standby. We could do a UV so I could check when it walks. Just to double check that. We're going to have no idea where the ghost room is. I'm totally cool with that. All right. Ready to rock? Let's do it. What if I could do a spirit box too? We could try. Hey, what's up, Iron? All right, there is hiding there. Uh-oh. You know what's really funny?
What?
The ghost is here.
How fun.
I just heard a door touch.
We're at 100. It's fine.
We're doing it anyway. I just heard a door touch. What are the odds it's here? All right. I can't see that well. I should have brought a lantern in. All right. Are we ready?
That one.
I say we just go for it. YOLO.
Sure.
All right.
Hello.
All right. Someone else want a light one? Ooh. Who's got the photo camera at the ready?
Me.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure I get the ghost, not the cursed object.
Okay. I'm gonna light this quickly. Ready?
Yep.
Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Damn kid. Yeah, we wanted it to hunt though. We wanted the hunt.
So I forgot to take a photo of the summoning circle.
Did you get a photo of the summoning
Photo
circle?
counted as a summoning circle. Yeah.
Look at that.
Got everything else out of the way.
Oh my god. That photo of it though. Holy moly. So, there's that. It's a pretty sweet photo though. All right. Is the ghost in this room?
Oh, looks pretty cool.
It's pretty rad, Tad. Are you near? Where are you? that the ghost? Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? I think I found the ghost room. That's not twins. I should probably take some sanity. Yeah, it's definitely over here. We have a door touch. The room right next to the yeah. I'm gonna go take some sanity. I'm gonna run. I was running. Chaser, thank you for the 7 months. It didn't speed up at any point. I'm pretty sure we had electronics over there. No, it definitely didn't speed up near the spirit box. It would have sped up. Hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, Mayor's sanity's tanked. I'm going to take another one then. I'm going to bring in another crucie. I'm going to bring in dots. We do have UV. But we didn't get a chance to see it before. Oh, we didn't get a photo of the ghost. I didn't get really to see it hunt either.
You got it right at the end of the room, right?
What do you mean?
It was at the end of that room, touching the door.
The end of the room? It was
The
in
end of
that.
the
It was
chapel
in. It was
where you were.
inside
It
of
was
the.
in the chapel.
No. It's in this room. This little side room over there.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna run back in there.
You walked away.
Your sanity is absolute tanks, by the way, Mayor. Thanks for the follows. Look good. Onto a rev. No, those are not. Those are normal speed ghosts. No. Oh, hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, how are you?
All right. Get some Dootskis in here. There we go. Put that on.
Or your feet.
You didn't do the dong. I'm sorry, Anglo. Looking for the
There's
pride.
one in there already, so I just put it outside.
Got you. Oh, you said we had phalanges. Oh yeah, double. Okay. Oh, another one. Normal. Oh my god. Why is that handprint so freaking massive? What the fuck? I know you guys can't see this. I do apologize. Seemed fast. It seemed very normal to me, guys. It sped up with line of sight. Yeah. Plan on playing the Graveyard. Maybe at some point, Jared. Yeah, I did. I've had some friends that were playing that game. Yeah, it does. I definitely want to play it at some point. I'm not seeing freezing yet. You tried Spirit Box, right?
Yeah, I tried it. I wasn't getting any response.
Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Nothing. Maybe possible Gerto? How do we find a Gorio without evidence? You continually have it hunt and then it never changes rooms. Oh, did we not have an EMFer in there?
I didn't see one.
Okay. Thank you, Sparkle. Did it right? I don't think so. Did it?
Freezing.
Oh,
0.1.
now it did. What a turd. Okay, so if it gives us, well, let's see, Jin, Hantu, Demon. I don't think that'd be a demon, or I think is this a demon?
Is it a shady demon?
Is it a shitty demon? Hey, you want to write in the book, you butthole? Go ahead, do it.
Come on. There's even writing outside for you.
We have a couple of writing books here. Come on. I don't know if it. I don't think it's sprinted at me. Hey. Hey. Or, ooh, that's a very good point. You know what? We never turned the power on. How could we know if it would have done Jin things if we never actually had the power on? So it could be an EMFer. It's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. Hey, Thobbs, what's up? All right, well, if you're going to be a Jin, then just do it. Actually, wait. Wait. Okay, hold on. Can I find the breaker?
I'm looking for it.
Phoenix, are you by chance staying by the ghost?
Next to the female wing.
Hey, Phoenix.
Yes.
Are you by chance by Ghosty Pants?
I'm walking there
We're
right now.
going over there.
Okay, I have the EMF over here with me by the breaker.
Okay.
Have you had the Jin do the breaker ability? No. I just keep getting told that it still exists. I keep getting told that it still exists. Hey, Alien. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it earlier. And then I was running around trying to help family with dinner and stuff like that. Yeah, I totally can. What ability? The Jin will set an EMF off at the breaker when it tries to drain sanity. Yeah. DJ, thank you for the lurk. Tis the weekly? Tis the weekly. I have yet to see this happen. What do we have for dinner? My wife made chicken bundles with mashed taters and gravy. I play this one game all the time, bro. I do, bro. Yeah. I really like this game, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Mind sharing? No. It's mine. You get nothing and good day, sir. What's up, Nebula? Welcome in. You had ice cream for dinner? Sounds healthy. Spirit box? Well, they were using the spirit box. I didn't hear them get a response. See, man, I'm telling you, I'm not getting, if it is a Jin, I'm not getting it. F it. I'm not sitting here for this. Third hunt, yeah.
No spirit
No.
box.
What is happening?
It's refusing to do anything.
Ghost.
Convinced.
Kelly Holmes. Well, the power's on now. Could always make it hunt and check it that way.
Yeah.
If
It's been on for a while.
if we're feeling spicy. That's a chair. Oh, that's a bookcase. this guy. That guy. Hi, Roxy. Gonna go now. See you, Wolf. Could it be a ghost? No. I don't know if we have any more
Oh, no,
smudges.
not yet. We need to grab.
That's not red, so it has not been used.
Did you get it vented on, Phoenix? No.
Yuma 5.
Probably a gin. Okay. Double. Oh. What the hell was that? Oh, now it wants to do shit.
Now it's doing things while we're out of the room. What a stinker.
Help is on the way, dear. Hey, skeet up, butt up. Here, I'll bring you some stuff to cause some damage. Here. Blow these out, give us EMF 5 so we can see it, then we can leave. Look at all these EMFs, and not a single one of them wants to show us an actual 5 in person. It's doing all kinds of shit. Look at all these.
Could spam the board.
Look at all these. We could, that's very true. Let's do it. F it. I like it. I like it.
Keep touching those lockers.
Vloggy! Thank you for the prime. Wait, where's the board?
Over here.
Well, what the? Bring it over here where we can see it. This nice cozy fire. There we go. There we go. What should we ask it? Do you like chips?
There we go.
Goodbye. I'm telling Tater.
All we just needed to do was
Chip hater. Phoenix, it hates chips. We're out of here.
How dare.
How
It's
dare.
a gym.
And it's a gym.
Who hates chips? Jim hates chips?
Yeah.
All right. Finally. Good grief. Let's get out of here. How
Jim
could
doesn't have
it?
a gym here.
I didn't know that huge. Yeah. So when you have, it's an Easter egg for this map. When you have all of the cursed possessions on the map, you can do it. This weekly is the only time you can do it for the weekly that I know of. But in a custom, you can have all the cursed possessions, and you light the cursed, you light the summoning circle on fire. It will turn some crucifixes upside down, and it will light that on fire. The ghost will spawn. You have a nice little photo op, and you zippity-doo on out of there. Yeah. And then your game crashes, and you hope that the weekly actually went through, and then you... My game just crashed, by the way. In case you're wondering why what that was. My game just crashed. Fancy shirt. Thank you. It's so we could play it more. All right. Ads are about to play anyway, so this is a perfect time. I do 3 minutes of ads every hour, so that way we do not have any pre-rolls. So if you are not subbed or you don't have turbo, don't worry about it. We're going to get this preloaded. Hopefully the weekly is done. It started to like count it. I don't know if it actually happened or not. Cut 2.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you. I've gathered a list of other hunters asking for help.
Your weekly last week did that? Wait, we'll look this way. Okay. All right, we're good. All is well. Cut 2. It's all good. We did it. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Phoenix. Sorry for the abrupt cutoff. Didn't mean to do that. Apologies. Thank you, friends. Son of a bitch. I'm glad it counted. And now we have an ad break. There we go. Hi, Ms. Pro. What's up, Bailey? Lizzie. I did get the 5K. Yes, I did. Yeah. The trip was good. This ad is sponsored by Sunny Meadows. Crashing PCs since 1980. Then you got the weekly. I think that happened to me like once before. This is not some common occurrence. This has only happened like maybe one other time to me where I was doing the weekly and then all of a sudden, poof, then something happened and then it just went bye-bye. Yeah, that is not a common occurrence. BK, what up, homie? But there it is. It even it even shows it here. So you can even see it here. So we all right. We all right. Will I bring back ghost gambling? I do ghost gambling. It's just a rare thing I do. I don't do that often at all. Yeah. Cassidy, thank you for gifting a sub to Addie. Nah, I appreciate you, Doom. Thanks, man. Guess who came to see me? Mel did. Ooh. Mel's making her rounds. Damn. How are you, Sissy? How was? Did you get to see anybody else, Sissy? I know she got to see a few others. All right, like a minute left, and then we'll get into our regular scheduled programming. Regularly scheduled programming. Classic warm up with Nightmare. I do need to add back in our Equip Monk, though. From the dog daycare. Oh, lives on the other side of the state. Oh, got you. Did you try the Dorito tequila? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Was it bad? Yes, it was. Was it as bad as Chinggis makes it out to be? I don't know about that. It definitely was not good. She came to your place. Oh, that's awesome, though. I'm glad you got to see her. So that's cool. Is it in any way possible for an Onryo to hunt with firelights active? Well, yes, absolutely. Because if a Onryo is within its normal hunting range, then it can hunt, no matter how many firelights are active. But for an Onryo to, because you have to think about it like this. The Onryo has a hunt threshold. For a firelight to stop it from hunting, the firelight has to be near the Onryo, right? If you're thinking more along the lines of the firelight's being active and it using its ability, then that means that it blows out 3 and then a 4th stops it from hunting. In that case, that's different. Yeah. Angel Dust, thank you for the 7-month Prime. So the firelight acts as a crucifix. Yeah, it prefers the crucifix. It goes for the firelight first before the crucifix. Yeah. It prioritizes the firelight over the crucifix, if that's the way you want to look at it. So that's why typically what I do is I'll put a crucifix down and then I'll put firelights on both sides, because I don't want to risk the possibility of the Onryo eating it from one of the other sides and there being this small gap where because what I used to do was I used to put the firelight on top of the damn thing, but the ranges are not the same for the crucifix and the firelight blowout. Yeah. Velo! What's up, friend? What's up, Ram? All right. Let us start with a Nightmare random, because why not? Do I have anything to unlock? I do! We have an EMF reader. Sweet. Ever so sweet. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So once it gets within its normal hunting threshold, it doesn't matter how many firelights there are. It's just a matter of if that firelight is within the range of the ghost when it tries to hunt. That's what matters. Is the tier 3 crucifix worth it? Yeah, why not? Why not? Katie! Twitch baby, we shall call it Beatrice. Thank you for the 9 months. Thank you for naming the baby, by the way. I do appreciate it. Now we don't have to think about it. Yeah. Thank you for the follows. See you lit. Best way to figure out a mare with zero evidence. When you're turning on lights in the ghost room, you'll force the ghost out of its room, making it change rooms more often. And then you'll also get an instant light turn off whenever you turn on a light switch, possibly. That's the mare ability. And there's a 10-second cooldown on light switches. So when you flip a light switch on, trying to get the mare to turn it off immediately, there's a 10-second cooldown. So turn on the light switch. If it doesn't do it, turn it off, wait 10 seconds, try again. And then just try again. Yeah. Mel, thank you for the 4 months. Hi, friend. All right. Is there anything else I can upgrade? No. EMF reader, good to go. Okay, cool. Nightmare random, where are we going?
We've arrived. Check the equipment.
You know, I was almost going to pick high school anyway because I knew it was going to give me.
The ghost here
This is what random does.
to a cursed
Walking simulator.
Go and take a closer look.
That's what it does.
Maybe using it will help you investigate.
Jessica Alexander, crucifix, repel, and EMF reader. That's what it does. Every damn time. Fan favorite? Sure. You listen here, you son bitch. All right, we're gonna get a gymnasium ghost, and it's going to instantly show what it is because it's going to be a Pulte, and we're gonna leave. Please. It's me, Jessica. Damn it. All right, let's check the common areas where it can have orbs, which are not very many with high school. But it's always good to check them because you never know. All right. Don't see any. So let's get... There's a bug in here. Slasher Tasher. Hi, Tash. Thank you for the 16 months, friend. There it is. There's one bug. It's near my face. Get out. Get. Motherfucker, I swear to God. I have a fly swatter upstairs now. How does this map have nothing for the ghost to interact with? It's just the way that this map was created, man. It's just the way that this map was created. It's just the way that it is. Yeah. Do a full loop of the maps. I don't know what that means. I'm not too sure what that means. All right, we got that. We got that. And this. All right, let's go find our power. Yippee skippy. Yeah, high school is not very fun. But who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky with the cursed possession. Maybe. Maybe. That. Maybe. It's a mirror. It could be worth a look-see doodle. All right. Myling. Evan, thank you for the 15 months. What's up, Indy? go for the ghost and leave? Do I go for the ghost and leave? Did you lose a bet? Yeah, I lost a bet with random. I think we go for it. Let's try. Let's try.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Oh, now I got the 5K. Now I got paid for the 5K. Sure. Man, what a good high school. 2 minutes and 19 seconds, 6,600 bucks. Damn. Doc taught me well. Hey, Mob. All right, cool. Maybe we don't try random this time. Tem, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. No, I'll let you choose. At least they retroactively paid you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Your vote is going to count once. Choose wisely. This is on the purple side of things. I have no choice in the matter. Okay. I have no choice. All right. 1 through 14. Your vote counts once. 1 through 14. Where are we going? Where we go? I'll give you guys a few seconds. Boo, 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 boo. Imagine if it's high school again. If it's high school again, then they're very just mean. Yeah. Hi, Ms. V. How are you? Played random and it kept giving me high school. I know, that's why I'm afraid to do it. Gabby, thank you for the heartbeat. All right. And what is wrong with all of you? I swear to God. If it's what I think it is, I swear to God. Please. Please give us a smaller map. That's fine. Small map. The game's like, I'll give you a small map. We call it small, but really it's larger. Got you so good. PSU, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. It's not small, it's tall. We need a different payout for tall maps. I think you're right. I think that's what it is. We need a different payout entirely for tall ass maps. James Brooks, we need to witness a ghost event, EMF, and crucifix. Yeah. Thank you, Gabby. Haruka, thank you for the sub. The prime before the follow. Appreciate you, friend. Multiplier for how many floors there are. I like it. I think that is the way that it should be from now on. You know what? I like where we're going with this conversation. Oh, so, yeah, small medium. Small medium. I'm good, Addy. How are you? Hey, it's open. I never get that hiding spot. Open, open. And the breaker's down here? Oh, shit. It's Christmas. Schmedium. And there's hiding here. Oh, my God. Damn. Do I wait? Let the house cool down a bit? Let me warm up a bit? Ghost is on the 10th floor. Shut up. The luck is changing. We say that now until this demon hunts me right here. Night, Noki. That's right, I would go ee. You miss the old asylum map. I mean, I miss it too, just for having variety. That'd probably be the reason why. I don't hear anything. Let's keep rocking. Haruka, I appreciate you. Thank you. Ghosty. It's hiding there. Okay, sweet. Awesome. The ghost is going to be all the way upstairs. All the hiding spots are going to be down here. Why? Because friend is angry. That's why. How many lights you can have on without tripping the breaker? In this building? I'm not sure. Ooh. Ghosty's having some wine. All right. Well, we're not that far. That's fine. It's like a fine wine. Hey, Green. I'm good. How are you? Maybe. Hold on. Here. Turn the TV on. If it turns the TV on, I can check for a fingerprint on the remote control, which I have not been able to see in person ever since they've updated the game. Still have yet to see that. Thank you, Addie. Ghost wants to watch the stream. That's fine. Yeah. Tube TV and everything. There. We'll take that in. We'll take this. We'll take this. Okay. It's stream sniping. I'm telling. I appreciate you, Boosted. Thank you, friend. Vincent was playing Old Faz. Yeah, I saw some other friends who were playing Old Faz too, yeah. It's cool to dive back in after a while of not playing it. Orb. UV might not be the evidence, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Ms. Pro, thank you, Fred. Never thought about putting Twitch on my TV. EK. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. That's where I watch Chinggis on my TV on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays. It's Chinggis Tuesdays. My wife says, oh, we're going to watch Chingaling? I said, yes, ma'am, we are. All right. Good orbs. Good. We'll put down salt so we can just go ahead and check for UV. And we're going to take one of those because I don't know what our sanity is. Chingaling. Yeah, that's our nickname for him. I don't know why. That's what he gets. Yep, he's a TV star. Him, Tater, most of midnight. Eventually, at some point, they're just hanging out on the TV. Hardly use your TV. Ah, got you. All right, put you down. Put that. Instant walkies. But it didn't walk. It like I found the ghost just standing here. Hey, child, it's Nightmare. Hello. We're gonna walk a little bit there. Hot sauce. Let's go. All right, fine. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you close? Damn. Sag. Sag. Night, Timmy. Well, it's not going to be this, so... Where are you? Are you near? Okay. Unlikely. Unlikely. So what we're probably not going to do is we're probably not... I mean, I could do a firelight test, I guess. Hey, Super. Mr. Grave, hello. Come on, Ure. Yeah, but how's it going to even show me that it's a Ure? That's the issue. How's Mrs. and the fam? They're good. Hi, Apocrypha. Pissing me off. Wait, pissing me off doing what? Wait. Yeah, I'm freezing. Okay, it could be a hound too. There. We'll do this, this, this. We gotta be a choo-choo train. We gotta be a little bit of a choo-choo train. Didn't Mimic have orbs in freezing too? Yes, but they also have Spirit Box or Ultraviolet, and I don't have either. Yeah, I don't have either. So we're gonna bank on it not being a Mimic. Thank you, Alex. So let's get a smudge or two, and we're gonna test for an Onryo. If we can knock that out of the way now, then we can listen and hear if it's possibly one of the other ghosties. I might fucking just triple smudge. F it. Nightmare, yep. Yep. Let's rock. Hantu burp. What the hell's a Hantu burp? What, you kick the power and see its breath? Wait a minute. See if over there. Onryo test, yeah. Hey, Muskin. We need Bruce. The only downfall of this is that I can't see the firelights. Alias, thank you for the resub. Lumber, thank you for the raid. What up, dude? This is dangerous. Okay, all three have blown out, so this is not an Onryo. Easy peasy. Rev Yurei Hantu. We didn't by chance see what the cursed was, did we? Shop! Thank you for the 7 months. I didn't by chance see what the cursed possession was, did I? It's not cards. I'll tell you that much. Don't think so. Damn. Hey, KD, thank you for the 17 months. Hello. No? Damn. All right, let's go find it. Cards are the worst. They're not the most fun. That's for damn sure. Is it La Mirror? No. I think it's gonna be the mirror of the board. Let's find out. Up smudge. And then goop. Lumber, thank you again for the raid, friend. Hope you had a fun stream. Oh, you bastard. Is it music box? Uh-oh. Is the power kicked right now? Oh, it is. Okay. Got murdered. Okay, okay. Committed Moida. Okay, okay, okay. Hi, ghost. Bye, ghost. Bruce is not the cursed object. How dare you? How dare you? What is it with the music box you like? I like how practical it is, and I just like the way that it's done. I like that it can be used for multiple purposes to get things like the event. You can get it to walk through salt where you need it to. You can check it for photos and things like that. But I just like how it's used with the music, getting the ghost to actually come to you like that. I don't know. I like it. And as a musical person, in a sense, I enjoy it. And you can also stand at the front door, turn it on, huff it into the room, and then back out, and there you go. It's a grenade. Super fun. Uh-oh. It's right here. Multiple, Rakesh. Yeah, multiple. Exactly. Thank you. All right. So we have smudge here. We got a smudge there. We got a few smudges there. We're going to say, fuck it, and just do it here. Jesus Christ. That's a Revenante. That was loud AF. Are you able to hide there? I was told that you can hide here. Yes. And I have smudges in case that's if the ghost somehow makes it down and it's a lie. So, if not, we're about to find out. The ghost has a beautiful voice. It was very nice. When was the last time I died from a ghost? Probably last stream. Yeah, I think didn't I get demoned last stream? Yeah. Zero, thank you for the prime. I'm fairly certain that I got demoned the last stream. If the ghost doesn't have line of sight. Yeah, there you go. Hey! I need an event, Stinky. Hey. Can you Avanti? I need some XP. Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. How do you make it sing? The music box. Hello? Gonna touch the wine. I touched it. I'm gonna touch the cigars. I'm gonna throw it downstairs. I'm gonna touch your fine china. I'm chucking it down the stairwell. No, it does count as an event. What I didn't want to do, because of the ghosties that were there, I didn't want to risk being directly next to the ghost for the event and it being a revenant and some weird shit happening and then it killing me. Yeah. Them's his fighting words. I know what it wants. It wants a sausage. Perhaps it wants two. I brought you your second. It's not enough. I don't think he's pleased. He needs the fork. Shit. I'm prepared to give him the fork. I'm ready. Maybe he wants the box of shredded wheats. Why does he keep going upstairs, not down? We're trying to feed our Revy. That's right. Okay. Oh, that's cool looking. Like street lights from like down here. Hey, I tried to provide you. Oh, were you mad because I didn't bring you something to eat it with? Is that why you're so angry? Here, I'll light your candles for you. It's this mess. Ugh. Wonder if I'll go up again. Hold on. Hey. Why the fuck are you so mad? Hey. Why are you so angry? Give the guy a sausage and cheese. It's refined. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because I didn't deliver it on a goddamn plate. It's because he's selfish. That's what it is. He's selfish. Prick. I'm out of here. I'm tired of him. I'm out of here. He only wants chicken sausage? No. That is not on the menu tonight, sir. Have this. Not today. No. Goodbye. He doesn't like sausage. He could have told me sooner. He's a vegetarian. You know, it's funny. I was, the kids finished dinner today.
Welcome back.
They finished dinner and they went upstairs. My wife and I were downstairs talking, finishing our dinner. Because they're animals and they just fly through everything. And we have Google. We have Google in a couple places in our house. And we have one inside of the kitchen. And then all of a sudden, our daughter was trying to talk to the one in the kids' room. And she said, she was trying to talk to that one and she messed up. And she was like, Google. We heard it coming through the one in the kitchen. Google. Tell the kids' room. Alex, are you a vegan? She's 6. I don't know if she knows what a vegan is. What the hell prompted that question? We asked her. I was like, she kind of knew what it was. And I said, why did you ask him that? She's like, just to be silly. All right. I was like, what were you doing when you asked him that question? My technology time. All right. Have fun, I guess. I don't know. Actually, before we go to that, hold on. I'm choosing this time. I'm choosing. Kids be. They're funny. They're pure They are pure entertainment. I will absolutely give them that. Cassie, I swear to God. Choosing random. Shut your lips. No. What if I went to choose that and it still gave me high school? I would uninstall. Quit.
All right, we're
I
here.
quit.
Take
Hi,
a look at the
Sam.
equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation.
Yeah, I think it's a good time for a nice farmhouse. I agree. I agree, Dave Harris.
Be the reason.
Cleanse, capture a photo, EMF. Sounds good.
You may be able to use
No matter what I choose, it's like, nope, high school. Yep, that's the April Fool's joke. Nope, you're going to high school. Doesn't matter. Nope, you're going to high school. Kids are something I never thought I'd have to tell my offspring to get their foot out of a chip bag. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Worked in a school, had a kiddo ask why the male turkey's chin looks like a ball. Okay. I mean, at the same time, though, you're like, yeah, that's fair. Fair play. That's a great ask. That's a great ask. Night, Valix. Have a good sleep. Hope you have a good flight. They stop when they make up with their minds is beyond incredible. I love it. We always ask them all the time. We ask them all the time what they're thinking. Just because it is really, oh, thank God the power's here. Because we know that it's going to be pretty entertaining. Sometimes we get a big bag of nothing, but that's okay. Like, what do you think about? Oh, I don't know. Well, just like anything. Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Oh, I'm hungry. Yeah, me too. All right. But then sometimes you don't. You're like, what are you thinking about? I'm just wondering what would happen if firefighters like outfits were purple. Oh shit. That's a great question. I don't know. So it's not a mare. I turned the light on in the foyer, but I don't know if it stalked us or not. We'll have to check the temps there. But while we're here, we will bring evidence to the front door. Your oldest asks a lot of questions. It can be a good thing. Yeah, it just depends on what questions are being asked, right? Thank you, Jewel. No phalanges. No phalanges. What round am I on? Oh, I just finished the weekly a round or two ago. I have to change the title. It is cold here. Maybe, oh, okay, maybe it is here. Shit. All right. All day. All day. How was the weekly this week? Not bad. Not bad. My recommendation for the weekly this week is just having multiple people with you. Having multiple people with you, it makes it exponentially easier. For sure. For sure. Like the weekly. Yeah, it's nice. You get every cursed possession. You get all 7 of them at the same time. Yeah, if you want a nice little fun surprise, light the summoning circle. Yeah. Good times. Get that. We get that. There's no way I lost that much sanity. We'll just bring this in. Doing it tomorrow after work. Nice. Yeah, it's not bad. Beer can. Huh. All right. There's our cold temps. Where are you? Are you near? No phalanges. It's roaming. I got farted on. Yummy, yummy. Now it knocked on that window, but it's not in there right now. Like it's, maybe it is in there. It's just roaming. Unless it's moving into this room. Which maybe it is. Which if it is, what a turd. It crop dusted us. It did. What a jerk. Look at the temps now. Oh, now you walk? Oh, you butthole. You're such a skeet up. Tier 3 parabolic makes this week. Yeah, oh, you don't even have to do that. I mean, if you want to make it really easy, because you have all the cursed possessions, you can just ask the board where the ghost is. Save yourself tons of time. And if you're playing with multiple people, then your sanity drain is way less as a group because it's one person that's losing 50% sanity. Ghost writing. You can see the book lifting off the ground as we speak. I'm a firefighter. I wish we wore purple. Fair. Fair. Of my dog getting all excited when I was talking about minutes. That was a while ago. Come on, Ghosty, give me something else. Watch it. It's going to be freezing that takes 15 years. That's my guess right now. 15-year-old freezing. Can it be Goryo? No. Maybe Shade? Was it doing stuff with me in the room? I don't think so. Can it be an Onryo? No. Good. Let's take this. Let's take this. Let's take this. Picked up the game a week ago. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Alright, let's do that. Do that. Alright, Ghosty. What are you waiting on? Okay, why do I see my breath over there? Okay, it did that with me in the room, right? Can't be Wraith or Noni. No. No, but none of those ghosts are there anyway because we have writing. Okay, the chances have definitely gone down. What do I think of Phasmo songs? What do you mean by Phasmo songs? Okay, there we go. If you know Doc Fishig, he's done like Phasmo songs. Why does that look like a cross burnt into the floor? Go! The Where Are You song written by Doc. Huh. No. It's my friend. We're fine. No, it's my buddy. It wouldn't want to hurt me. No way. It's fine. Can it be a mare? No, because it turned the light on. Literally can't be. Have I tried turning the ghost off and on back and turn it off and back on again? No, but I could definitely try. No, but I can definitely try. All right. So I have writing, and it hasn't given us whatever the hell the other evidence type is. Which is why I think it's going to be either this or this. And if it's that, it's Moroi. Well, it can't be a Moroi. It would be a demon, Revi, or a Shade, which would mean it would be a demon or a Revi. If it's that, that means it's a spirit or a Myling. Can't be a Shade. No. It can't, it shan't. Could have been Romy when you tried Spirit Box. Absolutely could have. For sure. Yeah, if I wanted to, I could do this to double check that. Let's do this. Let's do that. At least the difficulty is Nightmare. Another heavy? Maybe. Relax, home dog. Wonder if it will roam there. Let's do this. Let's go upstairs. Okay. It's throwing shit over there, which is good because I know it's over there in the living room right now. Turn that on. Just interacted with the clock. I'd love for it to walk through there so I know where it is. Did you get the weekly? I did. I did. The game crashed on me, but then when we came back and played another round, I got it. So my 2-minute high school round ended up getting me 6,600 XP. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you?
The far reach.
You son of a bitch. Where are you? Are you near?
I'm far from there.
Are you near? Where are you?
Far.
Are you near?
Far from there.
Where are you?
Far reaching.
Are you near?
Taken away.
Where are you? Are you near? Oh, just, are you near? Where are you? It's back in the room with me right now. Where are you?
The far reach.
Are you near?
Taken away.
You notice how it keeps saying away and far, even though it literally is standing there with me? Explain that. Sticky Spirit, maybe. Will Phas be available on the regular Xbox One? No. No. New console only. Like new gen console. Yeah. Alright, it's not Monkey Paw. I don't think I've seen the Cursed. Not that I'm aware of. Ewy. It's you. Huh. Do I have anywhere to hide up here? I mean, kind of. Yeah, fuck it. Time to walk our DO. We'll find out if it's going to come up to the attic. Big time? Nah. Let it hunt time. Or it burns the... Turns the breaker the set... Or... Yeah, it killed the breaker. Wait, no. Ooh. Do I have a Cruci in there? I did place... Okay. If it gets the Cruci again, I'll just turn the lights on again. We'll see what it does. Careful, SpongeBob. Son of a bitch. That's right. Buys us time. Twitch mobile app's insane. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it like the coolest thing ever? It's like the best app best app update I've ever seen. Seemed pretty normal to me. Your birthday? What's that feel like? Oh, that's right. It pursed the fucking thing. throwing the cups to make it mad? No, I was throwing down objects so that way if it was a poltergeist, I could see it like yeet objects. That was the goal there. So it being a normal, meaning it's not this, it's not that, it's one of those two, it's probably this. Thank you for the follows. Yeah. Yeah. Not throwing nearly enough. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. What up, Timmy? Photoing clowns. Stinky spirit, stinky spirit. I think so. What if we could cleanse the spirit from outside from here? Let's try. Ready? Yeah, yeet. Got it. Hey, what's up, Luke? Grab that, and we'll grab that. Let's rock. Good arm, thank you. I think I threw it a good, like, 4 feet. I think. Hey, I need a photo of you. Show up. Hey. Hey. Dave Harris. Dave. I don't want to like the circle. Dave. 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 Dave Harris. Hey, Dave. I have a summoning circle. I do. I hate it. Dave Harris. Dave. Davey. Dave Harris. Do the ting. Phone jack. No idea where that is. Dave, come on. Hold on. Yeah, we can go right there. Davey's in the locker. That son of a bitch. Dave. Hello. Doesn't the instance you throw in stop it from hunt for a bit? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Hoping to get a event. That was the plan, but I think Ghosty's gonna have other plans. I think it's just gonna... Never mind. Love trying to find the bone in OG fast. Oh yeah, always a good time. Always fun. Okay. Take that, take that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let's see, we have a flashlight there. We're gonna go take these. We're gonna take that. Okay, we're ready to rock. Bone. Yeah, we're gonna go find it. We're going on a switch. We're going on a switch. Hopefully it doesn't try to hunt us. Hopefully. All right, you're pretty active over here. I dig. There we go. That'd be good. Yeah, I dig it. So give me you. This is just a backup, just in case shit goes south. Yeah. Hey, walk in the salt. No, I've already got one of those. Come here. Come Come on, dude. That's right. You'll eventually walk in it. Let's look for the bone. Bone. Filetto. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And it will inevitably walk through the salt. It's just a matter of time. All right. I think it's going to be upstairs. I think it's going to be upstairs. Dark Pumps, that's literally just a no item challenge. Yeah, that's all that is. That's not very entertaining. We need pigs. All right. Ghosty just walked through there. I think I checked that already. Let's keep walking. It's true. Member of the group can get a 3-star photo of that each member can. I don't think that you can do that anymore. Didn't they stop that? I think you used to be able to. I'm pretty sure that they put a halt to that. Not that you know of. Yeah. You used to be able to, everybody would be able to take a same, like everybody could get a interaction photo of the same thing, but they put a halt to it. Rightfully so, which makes perfect sense. Where the bone? Maybe it's in the attic. Maybe it's somewhere in the attic. I didn't look. I think it's only salt pictures now. Oh, okay. Bone, 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 bone. I see no bone. You like the tier 1 thermo? I used to like the tier 1 thermo. Back in the day. Until they messed it up. Gonna be a freaking attic bone. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. There it is. Freaking attic bone. At least when you find it in that last room, at least you know you didn't waste time. Yeah, we can get it while we're up here. Yeah, why not? Why not? Already there. Woo, feed pigs. Hey, Maxine, what's up? Are you Maxine? Are you f***ing joshing me right now? Hey, asshat. What is this? What is this? What's happening? Yo. What the problem is? My salt too good for you? Or is it not good enough? Hey! Get over here. Swear to God. Get back over here and touch your salt. He only wants tier 3. Oh, Himalayan's not good enough? Jerk. Here, I see. Maybe he's shy. Maybe he's shy. He could be shy. Even though I left the room for eons, you know. You can at least blow out the firelight, butthole. Nobody's hope. What the fuck? Oh well, at least only 3 of the picks were salt picks. That's not bad. All right, let's get out of here. Wants to cool off. Well, it's stupid, and I hate its face. And I hate its big dumb face. All right, get me out. Should be a perfect game, so it's fine.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
Yeah, we smudged it and it took forever to hunt, so that was an easy give to know that it was a spirit. Yeah. All right, I have ads. We have ads. We do them every hour for 3 minutes, so that way we don't have pre-rolls. So if you don't have a sub, if you don't have turbo, we wait. This is your break time. This is your break time. Go hydrate, go get snacks, go potty. We will be right back. Easy clap. And the next, I think maybe we'll do, maybe we'll move on to an insanity run. Maybe we'll move on to an insanity run. Yeah. Gwen, thank you for the sub. For the 11 months. Appreciate you, friend. You've already got the ice cream. Well, not all of us have ice cream. Head of the table, what's up, friend? What I missed? No, nothing. Did the weekly. Done a few nightmare games. Think we'll upgrade it to our custom insanity. Or I mean, I could just do a classic insanity. You know? There's like a hair in my, I can't tell if it's in my face or on my glasses. Hold on. It's like in my face. Okay. Do a 3-minute anxiety breathing exercise. Wish I watched. I'll have the weekly uploaded tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Maxine. I'll have it uploaded tomorrow. We'll do a classic insanity per their restrictions. Okay. Yeah. Phasmodal. Hello, friend. How are you? Was it easy? The weekly? Yeah. With multiple people, it's not that bad at all because you can all bring in the evidence at the same time. You can bring in every single thing that you need. What's the new icon next to my name? The sub badge? Krieg? Do you get 3? Yes. Yeah, you get all 3. Yeah. You sure does. You sure does. Minute and a half. Once ads are done, then we'll move on to an insanity run. No, Phasmodal. They're talking about over on the purple side. The badge next to their name in chat. Yeah. Hey, baseball. What's up, dude? Aaron, thank you for the follow. Yeah. Insanity run. Good luck. Thank you, friend. Yeah. Insanity is definitely not as big of a jump as Pro to Nightmare is. Nightmare to Insanity is not as big. That jump going from Pro to Nightmare is a very large jump, and that's why so many people stay on Pro and don't move to that next jump. It's a large-ass leap. It is a large-ass leap. Aaron, welcome in. How are you? I feel called out. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's the most popular game mode in all of Phasmophobia. Professional? You shouldn't feel called out at all. No, I'm saying the jump from Pro to Nightmare is a huge leap. It is a massive leap in difficulty. No cursed object sucks, though. That is very true. And I almost purposefully go out of the way to play their game mode, their insanity game mode, the way that they have it intended. I almost go out of the way to play it as they intend it on stream so that people can experience it more and understand, man, this really sucks without a cursed object. So we can continue to voice that opinion to them so that hopefully one day they'll be like, fine, have a cursed object because it really does suck. Yeah. They really don't want to put a cursed object inside of Insanity because I guess they think it makes it harder. It doesn't. It makes it more boring. Yeah. Hey, Valley. That was so scary. Oh, get out of here. No, it's just when you have played way too many hours. When you play too many hours, I think that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, but welcome in, Valley. How are you? Wither, thank you for the prime. Have I played Insanity? Oh, yeah. Tons. How many hours in Phas? Closing in on 3K. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, we're back. We are back. Yeah, Insanity, you don't get a cursed object. You surely don't. You can see what the differences are here. I mean, from pro, I mean, if you're curious to know what the differences are in the difficulties, you can go here and read what the differences are. So read through each of them and see what the difference is moving from one to the next. So like Nightmare, you can see no setup time. You have a short hunt grace period, meaning when the ghost starts hunting, when it starts hunting, that amount of time before it starts walking, before it can start coming at you, there's a grace period there. And it's longer the lower difficulty. The higher the difficulty, the shorter that amount of time when it can start chasing you down. Yeah. The hardest one is a 15 times Apocalypse 3 setting, which is woof. That's not very fun to watch. It's not very fun to watch, in my opinion. Yeah. Valley, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. But yeah, so going from this one here to this one is a jump that not a lot of people do. It's not a lot of people do. So if you're playing on Nightmare, you're already playing on a difficulty that not a high percentage of players do. And then the higher you go, the less amount of people actually play that difficulty, right? So yeah. Insanity. The ghost will hide 2 types of evidence, so we will only get 1. No cursed possession. Woof. The ghost room will change more often. No setup time, less starting sanity. There's a freaking gnat in here. It's not a fly, it's a gnat. Short hunt grace period and fingerprint duration. So the fingerprint being somewhere is it's a shorter period of time. Long hunt duration, kill increased duration, sanity pill will restore even less. Fuse box starts off almost no hiding places, so I have like 1. Also, you start with 75% sanity. So let's rock. Gnats the worst. There's like, we're dealing with a yard issue right now. That basically gives us gnats. Yep.
Whoever was here must have summoned the ghost with a cursed object.
Don't use sanity pills. No, just do no evidence, no sanity runs. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So again, 1 piece of evidence. So as soon as we get the 1 piece of evidence, we don't need to look for any more. Okay. Crucifix, motion sensor, parabolic microphone. So if I walk in and it starts hunting, we know it's an early hunter, but it doesn't mean that it hunted at 100% because I'm not at 100%. But we have no idea what our sanity is at a certain point unless we're like really keeping track of how long I'm in the dark, blah, 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 all that jazz. So we're going to go in cautiously. I almost want to walk in with a smudge. I kind of think I might possibly do that anyway, just to be careful, SpongeBob. But I mean, we're going to risk it for the biscuit. It's fine. It's fine. Go for the doggy. I don't know what that means. So, first things first, the juice. Get your power on. Warm up the rooms. Look for the bone on our way through. What if the biscuit doesn't taste good? Well, then you're going to the wrong place. How come players crouch a lot when running? Just habit. Because if I have items that are like this on the ground and I need to pick them up, it's a lot easier for me to pick them up if I'm like this as opposed to me being like this. I just heard it. It's not a mare. So I crouch a lot just out of habit. It doesn't make you faster or anything like that. We're just going to do that for now. It doesn't make you faster or anything like that. Again, it's just out of habit. Let's do that. Do that. Now we'll do that. We go over here. We're going to take one single pill. Yeah. Hey, what up, Jack? Take this. Take that. Go there. Take that. No, we'll be fine. Does insanity have lower starting sanity? That is correct. You start with 75. You do not start with 100. Yeah. So you need to be careful, SpongeBob. I don't know what door it touched. I don't know. I'm more worried about being at the ready in case things go south. So the 21-degree difference there. Okay, interesting. Huh. A couple of doors that are completely shut. Eyes peeled on that. And yeah, being crouched, there is definitely an advantage there. Going around different things for sure. Yeah. Are you here, homie? Where you at? It's cold, but it's not like, cold enough. Maybe. It's 10 degrees in there. Where was that? Gimme. Ghost fart. Inbound. Where was that? What did I hear? Well, that, maybe? Orb? Okay. So, now we need to use our equipment to make sure it's not a mimic. So we have orb, which means if it's a mimic, it's going to give us ultraviolet, spirit box, or freezing. So we have to be careful. So when you get orb, it makes it a little spicy. A little bit spicy. Yeah. Oh, I love the mimic. It's so unpredictable. That's what makes it so great. That's what makes it so great. All right, so we obviously don't need to worry about that anymore, but now we get this. Take a smudge because now we need to be careful, SpongeBob, and we also want to do this. Yeah. My ghost from this weekend, both maps were in the same rooms. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I love the mimic. It's my favorite. You like the Moroi? Why so? What about it? Yeah, that'll be fine. I just smudged and totally didn't mean to. Where are you? Are you near? I smudged twice. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Are you close? Are you angry? Where are you? Are you here? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Hi, Cece. Yikes. And a clean pair of shorts. All right. I'm not seeing freezing. I'm not getting spirit box. I'm not seeing ultraviolet. Okay. Well. Hollywood, welcome. Oh my. We'll grab another one of these just in case. So here's our ghosties for ghost orbs. Okay. So what we can do is start trying to knock them down. Let's pretend it's not a mimic. So what do we know? There are certain ghosts that can't be already. It can't be. I see you. I think I got you. It can't be an Obake because it's forced fingerprints for Obake. Dude, I'm gonna get you. It can't be. Obake has forced fingerprints On a 1 evidence game, you have to get it. We don't have it. Hantu, force freezing. Goodbye. So we could test for Banshee. We could... I saw a couple doors shut, but I didn't witness them personally. We could do an Onryo test. Our sanity is probably high enough to do that. That's probably a gimme. Let's do that. Let's get this over there. Let's do that. Oh, I turned on the light. Oh, yeah. I just didn't actually cross it off. Definitely gonna be ERA. Yeah. Because that's my favorite ghost of all time. It's my baby. Rude. Dude is an absolute skeet up bottom. All right. Put that there. Put that there. Okay. Okay, homie. I don't think it can be a gin anyway, so it's fine. Banshee is your favorite until you become the target. Okay. Being Banshee in a multiplayer game is a blast. Yeah. All right. This. Is there anything I can bring in to multitask here? I mean, this, I guess. Maybe we'll get lucky and I'll get like a possible Banshee whale on the way through, you know? Maybe. We can try. This is for escaping. Banshee roulette's a blast. Yeah. Shut up, dude. We want to put this here because I want to be able to see it from over there. So, shut your lips. You sicko. Then we can make a run for it if we have to. About that test. There's 2. Wait for the 3rd burn. 3. Wait for 7 seconds. Okay. Not an Onryo. 3 candle burn. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, I don't like that at all. Okay. That was okay. We need to take some sanity. That was unfortunate. The timing of that was not very good. All right, let's go take some sanity real quick. Longer now sometimes for some reason. What? What? No, we're pilling up a little bit here. I don't want me to be like within hunting for some reason. Which I shouldn't be. Hey Blue, how are you? Don't do it, dude. Don't be that guy. Put this actually, you know what? Put this over here. Since we're hanging out. All right, let's try it again. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob, indeed. Was that a hunt? It certainly tried to. It certainly tried. So we're going to try an Onryo ability test again. Because that was suspicious. The difficulty is insanity. I should play Banshee Roulette in a solo game. What? Okay, I'll play Banshee Roulette solo. You go play Uno by yourself. Let me know how it goes. There's one. It's called Uno for a reason. Oh, that's why it's called Uno? We need to find you some friends. What is this word? Friends. All right. I think it was a Quinky Dink. I think it was a Quinky Dink. Okay. Shut up. Yeah. Okay. 3 candle blowout. No hunt. I think it was just a Quinky Dink. Yeah. All right. Let me go back and get this. Your air Banshee? Maybe. It hasn't done any more door slams, though. Does that mean it's not a ERA? No. This was from the event. What up, CJ? Well, now that we cancel out an Onryo, now I kind of wanted to hunt. Now I kind of wanted to. It's not vocal for shite. How do you play Banshee Roulette? When you find out you have a Banshee and you're playing with multiple people, you just let it take out whoever the person, whoever the target is. And that's how you play roulette. You lost on Chinggis' stream yesterday. It happens, man. It happens. Hey, what up, Mr. Big? Doing good, man. How are you? Goth, welcome in. That's why it's called roulette. It's a nice, fun, cash game with friends. That's right. It's not saying a damn thing. No. It's not saying anything. Guess you should use the cursed object to drain some sand. Oh, wait. No. I think what I'm about to do is go get another smudge and then go sit in the ghost room and have it event on me a bunch of times. They would have hunted? Probably. More than likely. And we'll get some extra smudges just for kicks. We have the dots in there, so if it's a Raiju, it'll speed up. If it's a Yokai, we can probably test that from the garage. Revy will know. Banshee, don't think so. I spent enough time to age it that much? I sure do, Skag. That's why I've been responding to what people have been saying. Paramic drop. Roger that. Hey. So me and the peeps have been talking and, you know, we're kind of tired of your shot. Has butthole. No. No, Walrus. That has not. It's not bean time bags. Lies. Slander. Lies and slander. What level am I? 50 something. Good night, Hellfallid. Careful, SpongeBob. Yeah, see, we have electronics here, here, here. I need to turn off that parabolic. Yeah, we should turn off the parabolic. Just in case. Just in case. Just in case. Just in case. Hey, Paranormal. Hello? Ghost, we need Avantis. I mean, I need a motion sensor. I guess I could go get that, but I was hoping that you would do some shit. Hello? No? Okay. Let's go get a motion sensor and then we'll come back and turn the light off. Hi, yi, yi. Yay. Hold. Do. Holding for so long. Good. Continue to hold. Okay. Thank you. Hi, Tika. How are you? All right. So Ghosty's not doing squat. We need the motion sensor, and then we're good to go. Yeah. Yeah. Doing good, Tika. How are you? Hi, Jolt. Hello. I'm starting to think it's an H stay because it's doing nothing now. Yeah, it's starting to feel like it, right? Hey, Stinky. Need to listen to music. Well, I'm driving for work. No worries, Halen. Appreciate you, friend. Are you a thing? Have you completely aged to the point of you being decrepit? Oh, they were, Crystal. Past tense. Ghosty, hello? Where did it go? Oh my god. Why is Mimic my favorite? Because it's extremely unpredictable. Where did it move to? Maybe it's in the basement. Maybe that's why we can't hear it. Maybe that's why we can't hear it now. Dude, where the hell did it go? Did it do a long roam and then end at the long roam? It left the map. Bathroom? I thought I checked the bathroom. Did I not? Fully aged and ready for bed. Yeah. It's ready for sleeps. Or a snack. Your hot pocket's ready. We'll lie to him. Shh, don't tell him. By the way, I don't know if it's actually here. What the? It's in the garage? How many rooms did it change? I mean, it went from there to, I guess, wait, 1, 2, 3. I guess technically you could have done, what, 4? Oh, don't. Oh, I guess I do. Yeah. Yum, yum. Thank you. I need to, yeah. 5 changes, I guess. But that was, like, really fast. Well, shit. I need you to, hold on. Hold. I need you to walk through this. Nutty coffee. Thanks for the 5 months. Appreciate you, friend. Here. Why are you crouching? Is that faster? Nope. Force a habit. When I'm picking up items that are on the ground, I'm a lot. Okay. We get it. Relax. When I'm crouched, the item is larger. The hitbox is bigger for me to pick it up, so it's a lot easier, a lot faster. I don't walk faster when I'm crouched. Why does crouching seem faster then? Think about this. You're in an airplane going how fast above the ground, but the ground doesn't look like it's moving very fast. When you're in a car and you're only going 80 miles an hour, but you look like you're going fast as shit. It's your perspective. Right. If you take that airplane, same speed, put it at the ground, it's going to look like it's going a lot faster, right? Hey, he walked through the sensor. Yeah. Yeah. That's why it seems faster, because when you're this high above the ground and you're walking like this, it doesn't seem as fast. But your perspective, you have something closer to your face. It seems a lot faster because you have all of that moving past you, especially a fucking gnat. Dude, this has to be an age thing. Name it. I probably should. Carl. Dude, I'm telling you, Apocrypha, I think I know what it is. I think I know why it's happening. Like extra. No, you're not bothering me with these questions at all. No. Questions are how we learn, friend. Questions are how we learn. Are you an aged they? Could you please just hunt? We could just walk you around the kitchen. People would like to see that. Grizzly, shut up. Shut your lips. Any tips for a group of 4 that doesn't know really how to find anything? Well, what are you trying to find? Exactly. What's the cursed item? Telling me after all these events. You're telling me after all this jazz, after all this bullshit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't pay the bill. Yeah, we don't have any cable right now. I apologize. He turned the TV off when he realized I didn't have any channels. My bad. That is my B. What's up, Ian? Oh, hello, TV. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know if it's going to start in there or in there, so I'm waiting here. Want to watch some Netflix? Yeah. Catch a documentary, maybe? Yeah. Open the fridge. Still don't completely understand why we're able to hear it, you know? Just one of those things. Becca, thank you for the raid. Hi, friends. I'm pretty sure this is a yokai, man. That was really close. Want to watch some Price is Right? Price is Wrong. How'd the week go? The weekly was good. Not bad at all. Jay, welcome in. This has to be a yokai, right? Hello? I can't see where I am. Hello? Okay, is the ghost in the living room now? Hi, Song. Unnecessary roughness. 5-yard penalty. Do I have multiple smudges? I do. Okay, this is about to get dangerous. Hey. So, about that whole you're a butthole thing. Look. I said some things in anger I didn't mean, okay? I'm just gonna go out here into the garage. Oh, fuck. Oh, you sack. That was an event into an event. That dirty hooker. I thought that it went into a hunt. Do different ghosts make specific sounds when hunting? No, it's 100% random. That hooker. Song, help. So on edge right now. Hi, Queen. Does the light flickering really mean anything? Not really. No. Mini goo. That's a yokai. There we go. How long playing fast? Like 3 years. Yes. Like Song said. Yep. Sure have. Breathe in, breathe out. Royal. Thank you for the gigantic emo. Isa yokai. I like yokais too, but this one was a maniac. Good grief. This one was a absolute psychopath. Sheesh. What was the sign for the yokai? So, I'll explain that when we go to the next screen as to why we were able to like test for the yokai. Are you a yokai?
Welcome back. There's some jobs for
Coach was saying that IRL, by the way, as a DVD streamer. What? How long were we in there? 30, 31. A little bit longer than we would like, but hey, we were making sure, man. We were in there making sure. So, we were able to tell that that was a yokai. What did we have? We had Orbeez, yeah? Okay. So, we were able to test for the yokai because of distance. Because yokais can only sense electronics and hear your voice from a certain distance, which is way shorter than most other ghosts. So, by spamming your walkie, when a normal ghost can hear you, the yokai cannot hear you if it doesn't come to you. Like when it left, when it was leaving the garage, I was hitting my walkie. Any other ghost would have come directly over to us. It would have known exactly where we were. In the range for 2.5 meters. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the yokai range for electronics and voice being 2.5, which I mean, like in the game, just a roughly like ballpark what that distance looks like in game is like. Hold on. I can't hear shit. Let me mute this. Hold on. Like, ish, that. Roughly that, maybe a little bit shorter. Roughly. The yokai, if this is me, the yokai has to be that close to hear. Has to be that close to hear or sense electronics. If it is over here at all, and I hit my walkie-talkie, it won't know that I'm there. Every other ghost will. Unless it's a mimic that's mimicking a yokai, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So that's how we knew. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, when you're learning how to play, there's just 1,500 things that you have to, like, learn. So I just take bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. Knowing how to rule out different ghosts is really important. I can test for this and I know that it's not that ghost. Check. That ghost is gone. How'd you rule out a mimic? Because I knew that I didn't have any of the other evidence. I didn't have ultraviolet, spirit box, or freezing. Yeah. I hear heartbeat. I'm running. Hell yeah. Safety. Safety. Run. Takes a lot of time to learn how to identify every ghost. For sure. Absolutely. It's all in practice, though. The more you play, the more you learn. Hi, Rafa. The more you play, the more you learn. Yeah, basketball, thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate just. It's all in practice. Orb isn't evidence for a mimic is always extra. Exactly. So if you're doing insanity and you get an orb, it could be the fake evidence for the mimic. So you want to get the real evidence, which would be ultraviolet, spirit box, or freezing. So it's always good to check when you get this to double check those. If you're playing Nightmare and you get this and this, you check for those two. If you are playing pro and you get this, and well, not that. If you're playing pro and you get orbs, ultraviolet, and freezing, check for spirit box because it might be a mimic, right? Yeah. You never know. You never know. All right, let us do. Speaking of being able to recognize ghosties. Been over 50 hunts in Phas. That's cool. Scariest ghost in the game? I don't know. Hard to say. Oh, I've got some upgrades. Tips for Apocalypse? I don't know if I am qualified to give advice for the Apocalypse challenge. I don't know if I am qualified. People like Mike and Dave would probably be the ones to ask for advice on that. Yeah. All right. Let's get some money runs in. Let's do some money runs. We're level 56. Let's keep trucking. So now I'm going to do some zero sanity, zero evidence. Just a few. Dio is scary. It is if you're hiding. Yeah. If you're hiding, it's definitely scary. Please, thank you for the follow. See you, leash. There we go. Let's rock.
We've arrived. Check
Walter, let's see. Capture a photo, cleanse, and witness a ghost event.
We've had no reports of violence, but keep an eye out.
Let's rock. Let us rock. So what do I want to do? Do I want to do any of that? I mean, photo I could try. Might get lucky, maybe. Careful, SpongeBob. Yeah, photo is probably a little risky for the bisky, but I don't know if I care that much. Again, we could always give it a try. Why not? We got that. We got the smudge. That's what really matters. We walk in with this guy, go with that guy. Boom. Let's go. Lady Corgi, thank you for the bits. Jeez, dude. First message and everything. Thank you. Oh my god. Why is Summoning Circle my least favorite? Summoning Circle is my least favorite just because of the way that it works. I think a lot of the times it gets bugged, or like a lot of times you go to light it and the ghost starts hunting, and then you light the last candle and then it hunts right in the middle of the circle. It sucks. Ghost gambling once in a very blue moon. Once in a very blue moon. Not very often. Yeah. It's fun to do sometimes. Doing it all the time would get very, very boring to me. All right. Bruh, I got timed. You're probably going to get banned, I imagine. Because that's a stupid thing to bring up in chat. Self-report. Ghost? It stayed in the basement the entire time. Okay. Like the chuckle. Let's try. Remember, zero sandy, zero evidence. Hey, Withered, what's up? How are you? So tired? Go to bed, Gracie. Go to bed. Twins? I'm sorry. Hello? Ghost said F you. Oh my god. Not playing with viewers, Dippy. Is it your ability for closing any door or just the front? Any door. Yeah, any door. Is level 33 good? Yeah. It's all subjective. It's all subjective. It's gonna see me this time? Hi. What's up, homie? Is it normal speed this time? That was weird. That was weird. Reckon Phasmo come to Oculus? I really hope it does. I know a lot of people that really, really want it to just be native on the Quest, and that would be really great if it was. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's useless. Well, the other hunt, it seemed slow, and this one, it seemed normal. Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't see any orbs. Don't see any Orbeez. That would take Mimic out of the equation. Have a curse? No. Mm-mm. Negative. No evidence? No evidence. Thank you, Misty. Yeah, no evidence. Any tips on how to loop? I always end up getting myself killed. Having a smudge and knowing where to get out. Not wasting your sprint also going into a loop. A lot of people will hold... Oh, you son of a bitch. A lot of people will hold down sprint going into a loop when you don't have to use it yet. But things like the kitchen island in Tanglewood, you can crouch and completely lose the ghost. It won't know where you are. Twins. Okay. Twin it? Yeah. What are good streaming services? Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Those are all good streaming services. Paramount. That's another good one, probably. Twains. Try. Word. You're welcome. Well, Nixie, I'm probably not going to be trying to use any glitches or anything like that to get out of the map. Probably not good for an official creator to do. Twins. The igniter, which is here. Nice. There. Go back. Tangle Street. Do again. Why the twins? The speed. The speed. The slow twin is 90% speed of a normal ghost, and the fast twin is 110%. And we could hear the difference. We heard it slower on the first hunt, and we heard it faster on the next one. It's sped up with line of sight, yeah. How do I know I'm cursed? If you're playing on professional, you can see that your sanity is dropping on the board, even though you're in a lit area. And you lose your sanity, your passive sanity, twice as fast. And you get cursed if you're using the spirit box, or even if you get a response, or if you hear something on the parabolic microphone. Yep. All right, go there, and we'll do motion. Nightly. What up, homie? Flash is always cursed. This is facts. Nightly, how was your stream? How are you? No, don't ever apologize for being quiet, Inu. Shush. Don't you ever apologize. Dude, you know how many streams I lurk in and just hang out? Because I'm like working on something. I'm busy. I'm maybe talking to somebody, but I want to hang out in the stream. Please. Please, 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 please. Can multiple people get cursed? Absolutely. Yeah, it's not just a single person. Anybody can. And the second you take sanity pills or sanity, then, okay, you sack of poop. That's when you become uncursed. Yeah, I should get my headlamp. Yeah, man. Lurk away. Like when I'm at work and I don't have to pay attention, if I'm editing videos and I don't need to pay attention to the sound, then I can listen to streams and I'm just lurking away. Yeah. What's up, Peter? Tip for the game? Always know where to hide, friend. Always know where to hide. Hey, Twig, I appreciate you. Okay. Always lurking. I appreciate you guys. Listen, you lurk away, man. What does lurking even do? It's a term that's on Twitch. Somebody that's lurking means that they have the stream up, but they might not be paying attention at the moment. Or actively chatting. Yeah. Nightly, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the 20 months. Oh, hey, how are you? Ghost, will you please just hunt so I can go turn the power back on so we can see? It's Dak. Like me. We all do it, Rebecca. We all do it. Fast way to level up. Do very high multiplier games. Dude, it's just chilling over there. Calm for the storm. Well, tell it to hurry up. And your friend is doubling you. What does that matter? That's fucking rude. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Hailed. Banshee, I don't know. Fact that it still hasn't hunted. Damn. Holy moly. Well, it's not off the motion sensor because it evented in here. Yeah. Okay. Let's go see if maybe we can get lucky and have power in the garage. Please? Oh, thank God. Shut up. I said shut up. He was Prestige 1, level 82, while I was level 50 like 3 weeks ago, and now I'm 86 and he's 287. Okay. I mean, I know people that are Prestige 20, level like 500. All right. What am I trying to do? I'm doing no evidence, no sanity runs. So right now, waiting for the ghost to hunt so I can see if we can start canceling out some ghosts. Clay! Clay. What up, Clay? How are you, friend? Sir Glacius. Smiling. Thought it was quiet. I'm good. Oh, goo. Damn, you sniper. Shit. Do I need to smudge you? Get smudged on, nerd. I don't understand why you're trying to be so competitive with your friend. Like, do you guys have a bet going? Oh, hey. What you doing? There you go. Enjoy. How to measure sanity? I mean, you'd have to you just sort of have to, if you're playing on Nightmare or above, where you don't have a sanity board, you just have to think about things that happen in the game. Your passive sanity draining, how much you think you might have lost. You have to know, like, events mainly are going to drain you like 10% unless it's certain types of events or if it's a certain type of ghost. You know, things you just have to remember as you're playing. Yeah. Excited prestige, but taking my time. Yeah, take your time. What's the rush? What does it matter? There's no leaderboard. Who cares? Play the game the way you want to play it, dude.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Hales, what's up? Going back and forth on live all night. Now I'm able to actually watch. What's up, friendo? Sound sensors, nice. Nice. Good night, Vars. Okay. There, upgrade, go there, go back. What sort of bonuses do you think will be added for prestiging? Well, they've already talked about it. They want to do XP and money boosting for prestiging, and then possibly in the future doing cosmetics, which to me personally is not enough. It's not enough incentive to make people want to prestige. It'd be sweet, but I mean, how many people are actually like, if they were to poll everybody that plays Phas, how many people actually struggle with money? Like, how many people actually are like, shit, man, I'm so low on money. Like, I don't have enough. Like, do you really? I don't think since prestige has been added, I don't think I a single time have run into a problem where all of a sudden money's a problem. I don't play like a lot of other people do, but still. Hi, Annie. In which, I mean, you need to cater to the masses, obviously, not to this small percentage of people, right? I think that's the biggest thing here is you want to cater to those, like to the majority, which is why when decisions are made, they should not be made like, well, this small percentage of players is doing this, so I want to counter that. Like, no, are the mass majority of people doing that, or just this like 0.1% of people doing that? You know? Full on conversation? No, that would be corny. No, they would never do such a thing. Ever play Demonologist? Yep. If you ever want to get scripted jump scares that get boring after a short amount of time, that's the game for you. I liked it for a while. It was great. And then it was all the same things over and over again. Yeah. What do we need? Escape, crucifix, and firelight. Roger that. Let's rock. Used to run into running problems in Phas. Kept getting wrecked. And right. And that's the big thing, right? Yeah. Had real potential. Didn't live up to it. Yep. We go through that same speech every time. Yeah. All right. Let's go. In the US, yep. Gin, probably. Do a challenge. Yeah, it'll be posted tomorrow on the tubes. It'll be live tomorrow. I usually whenever I stream it, I usually post it the next day. Usually. The only time I don't is when I have other things I need to post first. No. Wonder why I stopped. I wonder why I stop at Prestige 20. What do you mean? Okay. $3.15.20. 3:15:20. Shush. The devs.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Or that. I'm sorry, Song. I apologize. Did it shut the door on your way out? It absolutely tried to hit me in the ass on the way out. It sure did. That is correct. What told me it was a URA? It shut the front door without an event or a hunt. As I was leaving, it shut the front door. I don't know if I need you. We need... Oh, I do need you. Motion, parabolic, firelight. Ooh, those are good. Imagine it was Mimic. If it was a Mimic, I would have been Mimicked. When I'm doing runs like these, if it ends up being a Mimic, I get Mimicked. I don't take the time to go check for orbs. To me, that's a waste of time. It's a waste. Shut the front door. It did. It did. We told you, Song. It did shut the front door. Moved up to Nightmare like a week ago. Got so lost. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. The leap is a real freaking leap, dude. The ghost said, don't let it hit you. I'm pretty sure it wanted it to hit me. Yeah. You're A? I mean, possible miling? Why the developers only gave 20 levels to Prestige 2 and not... You mean why the developers only gave 20 Prestiges to Prestige 2 and not 100? Because then it would be too grindy, I think, at that point. Because then they also have to create 100 Prestige cards, which would be probably obnoxious. My guess. Because they had to create custom ID cards for every single Prestige. Imagine if they had to create 100 custom Prestige ID cards. Yeah, that'd be obnoxious. But also, again, to stop that grindiness. Yeah, it's already grindy to get to 20. Imagine if there's 100. That'd be obnoxious. Yep. Dreadstow, thank you for the 5 months. What up, homie? Dread. Guys, go follow my friend Dread. What you doing? They underestimate how much people will grind. I know. I mean, there's people that got the Prestige 20 in the first week. But again, But again, you have to look at it from the masses. You need to look at the percentage of people that are going to Prestige 20. Like how the percentage of players right now, how many of them are Prestige 20? What is the percentage? You know? Animation's hard even when you got the static art already made. Right. Exactly. And then imagine trying to up the ante every 10. Every 10 you're trying to up the ante, you know? Playing golf with friends? You bastards. You sons of bitches. Eric, oh hi, Baho. What are you doing? All right, let's go back. Another freaking miling. Let's get to level 60. How did I know it was a miling? It was very quiet. Very, very, very quiet. Hi, Vin. Painting your nails? Ooh, what color? Go there, go there. Most of the prestige cards they have are cool. Oh yeah, he did such a great job. Zeke did such an amazing job. I don't know yet. Oh. Oh. Hi, Mr. Vin. How are the ghosties tonight? They're good. How was your IRL meetup? I've already asked the others. You can tell me if it was crap. It's okay. You can be very honest with me, man. This is a safe place. Why no upgraded smudges? I like the tier 1. It doesn't change the speed of the ghost. It's just a personal preference. You know what? I'm not going to take this. We're going to bring in an electronic because that way if it's a rise, you all know. Yo, what up, Matt? Put that there. Like this here. Going like that there. Let's see. There. Now up is smudge. Power's in the basement. Use a fast boy. Use a fast boy. Let's all feed our Dio. It's the first one of the night. Hi. Look at you, cutie pie. Here you go. What do we need? Photo and witness a ghost event? All right, we'll try. Oh, you piece of shit. Never mind, he's a prick. I can't. You're both holding. We're both holding a stick. Like father, like son. Photos should be easy. Okay, and then I miss all 10. Money that I miss like every photo. Okay. Get that. Get that. Witness a ghost event. That's just per chance. And I'm going to bring this in because I don't want it to spawn on top of me for some reason, which would really suck. How we know is a Dio. So this particular ghost knows where you are at all times and will floor it to you. And then when it gets within, I think 4 meters, yum, it will slow down. So you can't hide from it. Hey, we got the event though. All right. You ready for your close-up? Hi, Lethal. And a 1. And a 2. And a 1, 2, 3. It's a photo shoot, yeah. Say Dio. Ghosty. Come on. Well, shit. I mean, when in Rome. All right. Well, I'm going to hit the old dusty trail. It's all photos. We're doing it. It's a Dio. We might as well. Let's do it. We're doing it. Perfect time. Perfect time. Let's rock. All right. So we'll get this. We'll get that. We'll get the salt. We'll get the photos. We'll find the bone. Okay. We want to do this because if it tries to trap us, we want to be at the ready. That on. Let's get one of these. Dio's hungry. It wants a snack. We're ready to smudge in case shit goes south. Fuck. Power's in the basement, yeah? I think it's over there. Still throwing the lighter down? Yes. Go ahead. Eat the cruci again. All right. Phone! Okay. Rosa! Thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Ads are about to start in like 10 seconds and I can't snooze them anymore. Guys, welcome in. We're just walking to Dio. We're just taking it for a walk. Welcome in. Hey, how are ya? Let's give it one of those. Get smudged on. We'll take it around the other side. Oh, hey, easy. We're walking our Dio. It's okay. Get that guy. I know I laid down all the salt already. I understand I'm dragging this out. I'm hopefully buying time to let the ads play on. I'm hoping we're buying time. Casual little stroll. Casual little stroll. Casual little stroll. Okay, do one of those. Do one of those. Car keys. All right, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2. We can get the photos literally right there. All right. If they do play, though, I'm gonna wait. If they play, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. But how was your stream? How'd it go? How was? Hey, Val. You're walking the Dio in the house? What? Ads. Yep. Yep, I'm waiting. We are waiting. Peepaw's having activity time. We played the new Mortuary Assistant update and played some Gravedigger. How was Gravedigger? I have to ask. I've been watching a lot of people play the Mortuary Assistant update in Gravedigger. Yeah. Do I ever use glitches in the game? No. No. Nope. I like playing a lot of solo games, Crystal. No. As an official Kinetic partner, me doing glitches in the game would probably be frowned upon. Womprat, thank you for the follow. CC, hello. Can I do your best Billy Mays infomercial for you? I should probably create one, actually. I should probably create one or do like a ShamWow. Hey! Do like a Billy Bait. No, never mind. It was honestly really good. We didn't beat the game because of tech issues, but those are on me. Oh no. Well, I hope you got it figured out. I hope you got it figured out. Or get it figured out. See you, Dream. Have a good one, man. Bye, Caden. What would you think of a cemetery map with a crematory room? I don't know if they would ever do anything like that. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what they would consider like their top maps. I hear you throwing paint cans. Relax. I'm waiting for the ads to finish. Once the ads finish, then we'll go back in. We'll go back in. We'll let it hunt. We'll let it walk over here. Once it walks over here, we'll smudge. We'll loop. Yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Done. Almost done for everybody. 30 seconds. If there's anything weird for me in chat, just know that's my brother. I won't be AFK. Oh, no worries. We can time you out if you want for a little bit. That way you don't have to worry about your brother. Yeah, time you out for like a couple minutes. That way your brother can't type accidentally or anything like that. Watch out for your brother. Don't get you in trouble. All right, ads are done. We're back. Evidence? No. No evidence. All right. Yeah, see, there we go. Thank you, Song. Now you don't have to worry about your brother. We got you, boo-boo. Damn it. It ate the crucifix in the freaking garage. You son of a bitch. Oh, that's right. I bought us time till we can turn off the damn car. Shut up. Wait during ads? Yeah, of course. We have the ability to. Usually I catch it during the middle of when we're like at the main menu and stuff, but this time it was getting a little bit too close for comfort. I snoozed as long as I could, but yeah, here we are. Yeah. Okay, butthole. Hey, how are you? E. Ew. Turn that off. You had to cut the juice before you started hunting and everything, didn't you? Oh. Why is that so dim when I cut to that? That's interesting. Favorite ghost is the Mimic, for sure. It's shrewd a potato. It's shrewd a potato. That should be everything. So we got that. We got all the 3 stars. The Dio. Got the objectives. Sweet. Everyone loves a good Dio. There we go. Perfect game. Sweet. Definitely a ghost. Still very uncertain about it.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready for you.
Each salt picture gives you extra money. Each salt picture is a separate picture. So you have the ability to stack salt. You can stack salt, and then for each salt that you put in one stack, when the ghost steps in that stack, you can take 1 photo for each. Yeah. The reason a lot of people do that is because the photo system is kind of screwed right now, where there's a lot of like 1-star interaction pics when you're taking a photo of a ghost, because the interaction was 1 inch in front of the ghost. and it's not prioritizing the ghost over that. So it's like, why F this up going for this when I could just take all of these pics? So yeah, it's unfortunate the way the photo system is right now, but you know what? If there's a way that works, freaking use the way that works. So this way works. There we go. 4,200 bucks. What up, Will? Yeah, Marco. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Tiana? Oh, what? The photo system's messed up. Say what? I know. I know, song. What is this blasphemy? I know. What are these words? Give me a sec. Thanks, Kinetic. Oh my goodness. Stream has been good. How have you been? That's a lot of money. That's a few buckarooskies. Just a few couple. Just a few couple. Yo, what up, Kirksey? Marco, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Love the shirt. Thank you, friend. It is a part of my new merch. It is a part of my new merch that I just released today. What presets this custom? It's my 1012, Kratos. Yeah. It's in my Discord, but if you do exclamation point 10x, exclamation point 10x, it gives you an idea of what it is. Yeah, on the purple side. Yep. Yeah, that's the main difference. Zero evidence, zero sanity. Grace periods 1 second. Power on. Yep. Yep, yep. New merch looks fun. Yeah, they did such a good job, man. They did such a good job. All right, friends. I think that might be where we call it for the night. It is midnight for me. 'Tis midnight for me. Do you lose money after you prestige? You certainly do. You lose everything. But I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Hang out, and we are going to go find someone to raid. So Tubes, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. The weekly video will be up tomorrow for sure. The weekly video will be up tomorrow. If you have not played it yet and you want to see someone else do it, you'll see me, Mare, and Phoenix play. So I appreciate you. Ticky Tax, appreciate you. Hopefully I'll get a stream key soon so that I can mess around with multi-stream with the Atom plugin, hopefully, because Live Studio is a fucking hog when it comes to resources. So we will see, but I appreciate you. Let's go find someone to raid. Let's go find someone to raid. Appreciate you, friends. Thank you, Gamer Wolf. It's midnight. You should create a society around Listen, dude. Listen, dude. Listen, dude. Thank you, Rice. I appreciate it. No, I appreciate you, friends. Thank you for those that were hanging out. Thank you for all of the gifts today. Thank you for getting, if you got merch today, thank you so freaking much. Appreciate you guys, man. I hope you enjoy it. I got both of them in. I'm so freaking happy with how they turned out. I'm wearing one of them right now. I love it. The fourth wall shirts are so freaking comfy. So freaking comfy. All right, let us go here. All right, what I don't know is... Okay, I need to check on something before we do the ting. I need to check on something before we do the ting. See you on Wednesday. Should be the plan, friend. There should be no reason why not. The stream elements activity feed worked out well. It looked like it was reading everything properly, so that was good. MF, thank you for the follow. Yeah, like all of the resubs were reading correctly as for what month they were supposed to be. Yeah. Is the shirt a loose or a tight fit? It's not a tight fit. It is not like a super tight fit, but it's also not baggy. For me. Is your background different? Yes. This wall was empty, Olive. It's not now. I added my shelves back, and I also hung my Hey Arnold memorabilia. Yeah. I got tired of it being empty. That wall was empty. It's not now. Yeah, I got tired of it being empty. So I put stuff back. So now my logo, my St. Jude stuff, and D's nuts are on the shelf. And then my well, I'll go this way. And then my gaming consoles are there too. Yeah. Hi, Cheebs. Cheeba. So yeah, I don't know what else to hang there. I mean, I could probably hang something here, but I don't know what I'm going to hang there yet. So we'll see. I don't know. Undetermined. Gonna play tomorrow? No, I don't stream on Tuesdays. No, Wednesday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 p.m. and on Sundays at 1. Tuesdays, I usually have a TikTok Tuesday where I'll do a TikTok stream during lunch. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. Depending, because I might have a busy ass work day. So we'll see. Might have to get the shirt, isn't it? I love it, man. I love it. Bruce is on there. The whole crew's there. Does anybody okay? How do I ask this without revealing things? Because people might not know. Okay. We're just going to put it like this. So we're going to raid somebody that has an announcement today. I don't know if they've made the announcement yet or not, so I don't want to make the announcement for them. But we're going to raid into them because they're going to make one. So if you are not subbed, there's a command for you. If you are subbed, there's one for you. Creepy little tier 3s, there's one for you. So yeah, I don't know if she's made the announcement yet or not. I know what it is. I'm aware of what it is, but I don't know if she's said it. So you'll just get to be pleasantly surprised with everybody else, unless she's already made the announcement, and then you can go, hey, I don't know. Not yet, I believe. Okay, good. Again, I didn't want to say things if nobody else knew. Okay. Cool. All right. So we are going to go visit an amazing friend and fellow Midnight Society member, Miss Hattie. Miss Hattie has an announcement today. So they are awesome. Hattie's been live for like 14 minutes. Literally just went live. So it's perfect timing. Like Hattie being on the other side of the planet. It's great because just end stream, start stream. So that's great. But Hattie's amazing. Hattie's awesome. Super nice, super kind, plays all the spooky games. Yes, Hattie's amazing, guys. Make sure you go follow Hattie. Make sure you're following all the amazing Midnight Society peeps. Mr. Chiba. Chiba, how was your internet today? Chiba, I need to turn the music back down. Chiba, did your internet hold up? I know that you were having problems. Did it actually hold up for you? It held up. Sorry. It felt very deserved. It's still fucked up. Okay, never mind. I don't think I have a sound for that one. No, the sad violin's gone. I don't know what happened to it. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, so let's go say hi to Hattie. We'll go say hi to Hattie. Applause. But yeah, she's awesome. I appreciate you guys. If you're not already a part of my Discord, the Discord link is there and the rest of my socials are there. I will have the next Phasmophobia weekly video posted today. It is midnight for me, so I'll have it posted today. I'll have it posted around my usual time. I usually get the video done and posted around like noon Eastern. So that should be on par around noon. And then we'll stream again on Wednesday. Whatever Wednesday. I don't know what we're going to play. People keep telling me to play Gravedigger, so I don't know. I might need to play Gravedigger. About stream things, of course, song. Bye, Dread. Appreciate your friend. I might have to play Gravedigger because everyone keeps saying to play it. So I don't know. We'll find out. But again, if you guys bought merch, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the subs today. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for all the raids. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you. Still should play Panicore. There's so many games to play, man. I just don't have time. I have to hop on Rust and build a base. I have to do all kinds of... Sorry, I have to upkeep a car. Priorities, man. Priorities. But I appreciate it. All right. So let's go say hi to Hattie. Much love, friends. I will see you guys later. Have an awesome rest of your day. See ya on Wednesday. Bye. Peace. See ya. Bye.